Welcome in everybody, and welcome in Greg from, hold on, let me see if I can get this right this time. GetTheGregGames. Okay.
There it is.
Okay, so that's the right way to do it. Not Max Gaming 2D or whatever. So I think I got it right that time. I'm gonna have to train my brain because I just say every time I talk to like my wife or anybody, I'm always like get Greg the games, because I'm like, I figure he wants the games, and I've been doing it wrong. So
All good. All good.
How are you this evening?
Fantastic. I got the orange Coke cream, zero sugar on deck here, so we're gonna spark up a little bit. Long day, so a little bit of caffeine in there to kickstart things.
Jolt to the system.
Exactly. Just a little one, just a little kick.
So, not many people on here kind of know much about you, which I'm excited about because they're going to get to learn about probably my favorite person in social media, period. And you can back that up because I do send you messages like every couple months to let you know how much I appreciate you. You're constantly on my mind, and I do want to give you credit for helping me start my journey into the streaming world, which is why I asked you to be here tonight as my very first guest on this MAX2DCAST. And I just want to say thank you for being here. If you have 1 minute just to describe yourself in a nutshell, what would you tell my people?
Is that the official name of this podcast, the MAX2DCAST?
That is the official cast name, yes.
Wow, the first guest on the MAX2DCAST. It's an honor, man. Truly, like, this is great. Yeah, it's crazy how long you've been making content now. Like, I know you say I helped you with your journey. I don't feel like I did. You, started doing it on your own. All of a sudden, you had a TikTok following. You were going on every single day, it seemed like, and you built up your own audience, your own stream, your own everything. So huge. Congrats on that. It just feels like we've been, obviously not in the same niche, but parallel building alongside each other for the past, I don't even know, 3 years now. How long have you been doing this?
Just a little over 2 years.
Over 2 years. Jeez, man, it's crazy. Anyways, I have my own YouTube channel, GetTheGregGames, where I cover game collecting. So it's a heavy emphasis on sealed and graded. I got a couple little sealed and graded games back there if you're not into sealed and graded, whatever, right? It's still just video game collecting at the end of the day. Going over variants, going over collecting, what stuff costs, what stuff should cost, what should you target, is this over? All of that stuff. If you like markets, if you like collecting, if you like variants, if you like that side of video games, you'll love my channel. If you are more gaming, I hate resellers, like all that stuff is very, very bad, my channel probably won't resonate with some of you guys. That's okay. I'm sorry to, that is a-okay as well. But that's what my channel's all about. If you want to check that out, by all means, GetTheGregGames on YouTube, Instagram, socials, all that stuff.
Well, the first thing that I want to point out, I guess this isn't on my note sheet actually, but I kind of, since you brought something up, I heard something in my head kind of tick. So one thing that I think is important that I've been learning as like a journey for myself with my mental health and everything else is that with all the negativity that's out there, it's rampant, and like literally you don't have to go far from it. But the thing is, and what I always try to explain, and I do, one of the things I got to give you props for, because I met you, how I met you was on Reddit, because you actually commented on one of my posts, and then we kind of just started talking, and you reached out to me first, believe it or not. And if you're looking constantly for negative in anything, doesn't matter if it's this hobby, it doesn't matter where it is, you're going to find it. But the one thing that I like about you is you have like an aura about you, and you are very passionate about what you're passionate about, which is the graded video game market. You treat it like it's your baby. You've curated it. You have all the answers. Your videos all pertain to some of the most entertaining that I watch, because I like it when you like cover up the grades and then you lift your hand up and then you're like, oh, that's it. And we're right there with you guessing. And what I'm trying to get to without getting to it is finding people with a spark is rare when there's so much negativity out there, and it is refreshing. Even if you are one of 100, let's just say, of people that actually enjoy the graded video game market, obviously there's grading companies out there, and there's grading companies for a reason. I myself particularly enjoy grading video games because it literally is like taking a memory and encapsulating it. And I can show my friends when they come over, and they all think I'm crazy, which is fine. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't have any close friends that are into the graded stuff. It's literally online community only for me. But it is nice to be like,
me too.
They can resonate with the Chrono Trigger I have on the shelf back here, and they can be like, oh, I love that game. And I'm like, well, yeah, me too. And guess what? I think I have the highest graded one with XYZ in the box. And the first thing they always say, I bet you could probably finish this for me.
The game is meant to be played, or how do we play it? What do you do with it?
That is exactly it. That's the first question. Well, how am I supposed to play it? And what blows my mind is how people minimize the ability to play games. There's so many different avenues to play video games. It doesn't just come down to, it doesn't have to be in that box and in that package. I can store that in a capsule, and I can cherish the fact that I had memories with that, but yet I can still play it.
No, I agree with you fully. And, just that focus on the positivity thing and negativity, if you want to find it. I'm sure you always go through your hidden comments on YouTube. Hey, like every now and then you just check what's been blocked or what's been hidden, and you can get the extra tasty comments where people are just really leaning into you. It's one of those things where, like, there's not really much reason to try to convince people otherwise about one of these things or some of these things, when it's like, if someone wants to be nasty, negative, doesn't like it, make fun of you, attack you, whatever it is, there's so much more value to putting your energy towards people who are interested or do care or are at least open or whatever it is, right, than trying to like appease to the toxic side. It's with anything, content creation, like anything. You're going to get so many comments, especially as you're just starting. Like when you're just starting, I get it. You're going to be terrible at comments. Everyone is. You're going to let them affect you. You're going to like I've done it myself, right? I have argued with people on TikTok for hours. Don't do it. Like, don't do that. You don't want to do that stuff. But you got to get reps in. It's all just part of the process there. But yeah, people are obtuse all the time about, oh, how do you play the game? Frickin' it's 2025. Download an emulator. I'll have Chrono Trigger up on my computer in 5 minutes. Doesn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean?
But the argument for me is like every hobby is the same in aspect of how you collect, right? You can collect modern cars, you can collect vintage cars, you could have, I mean, I'm sure Jay Leno, maybe he has driven every car that he has, but is he currently driving every single car that he has? No, he probably does more of pointing out and showing it to people. But regardless, what I like is I like the fact that I enjoy looking at the grade report and seeing exactly things I couldn't find with things. And I like, oh, I got the highest graded pop in this. Like for instance, like your Donkey Kong Country that I'm extremely jealous of because I've got like a 9.0 Donkey Kong Country and you're sitting on a dang 10. And I'm like, I want that gold label.
It's cool.
I want that gold label.
It's cool. There's an inherent coolness to it. I think it goes deeper because it's like, I was the kind of person who used to enjoy getting a math test back. I enjoyed getting an essay back. Like, what is my score? How did I do? I like that evaluation process. I like, when I play MMOs and stuff, I like rolling for perfect RNG to get perfect items. When I played Diablo 2, I would roll rune words to get perfect items. It's just so deeply ingrained where it's like, no, 14 DPS versus 15 doesn't matter, but it's just deeply ingrained in anything I do. It's just, I don't know, you either like that process or you don't. And I'm not going to try and like, oh, this is what you have to enjoy. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. It's just fun.
And from my perspective, when I look at somebody, for instance, that does sealed collecting versus complete in box, or even if they do loose cart, I think that there's room for all of it. I enjoy looking at somebody's complete Nintendo collection loose cart. I think it looks good. I think the way that you can display it, I mean, I just think that people should collect that they want to collect, and I think that you're a huge advocate of that. Which
a huge avocado,
yeah. That'll be an extra $3.50, please. An advocate of you basically you exude collect how you want to collect, and I'm going to stand by what I have to say, and if you have something you want to say, then you can say it. But I'm going to have a counter argument. You bring up a lot of good points, and you've resonated with me very heavily over the last few years. In fact, you are a household name here in our house, in the MAX2D Gaming house. You are one. The handful of times that you've come into the TikTok stream, I'm just like, yes, I've made it. That was it. That was the moment right there. I knew. I was like, I made it because Greg's in there. And of course I was mispronouncing your name. You know, yeah,
exactly.
You're like, damn, dude, I can't come in and he's going to mispronounce my name. I can't do that. Now I'm picking again. But I do have to ask, because one part about you that I don't know, and I don't think anybody here is going to know either, I never hear you talk about playing anything currently. And I know that you're extremely busy, but I want to know what you're currently playing right now.
Yeah, okay, so I don't talk a lot about gaming on the actual YouTube videos. I will agree with that because it's something I kind of debate doing more, like maybe even just short game reviews or stuff, because I always am gaming regularly, but on the live stream Tuesdays, I usually do update on like what am I playing, what have I played, all that stuff. So Silent Hill F, played it, beat it. I would not recommend it personally. I think it. If you want to play a bad Elden Ring or a survival horror Elden Ring, go play Silent Hill F. Maybe you'll enjoy it. If you want an actual survival horror game, that like it ain't it. So I did play Silent Hill F. Underwhelming, disappointing. I know reviews are great. Hot take. The game I'm playing right now is Mario Galaxy. Believe it or not, man, I've never played it. I never played it when it was relevant. I never played it like. There's so many games on the Wii during that little period of time where my whole life was dedicated to like Counter-Strike, Warcraft, Diablo 2, and I just like skipped everything Nintendo basically at that time. So Mario Galaxy, I'm like 65 stars in. It's great. Fantastic.
Okay, well, I got two things to say about that. So first thing, me and my wife, we were going to dedicate a Friday or Saturday night to playing Silent Hill F. I actually did pick it up. I have it installed, but we have not played it yet because I was reading.
I don't want to ruin it for you. I hope I have it. Like
I'm hoping that your take on it is probably more like you're comparing it probably to the older versions where they were like set in an eerie atmosphere and you basically don't know how to like navigate the combat, you know, because your character doesn't know how to sling or, you know, like hit bad guys and stuff. I've seen a few gameplay and I was just kind of like, okay, I don't really understand, but you're comparing it to Elden Ring and that actually kind of scares me because I am very bad at that game.
If you're going into Silent Hill F, like, I don't know if you're a guy who likes playing on hard difficulty for games and stuff, I would highly recommend not putting combat on hard. It will not enhance your experience with the game whatsoever. That would be my recommendation. Just pick story mode, I think it's called, for combat.
But even more so of a bombshell, you just blew my mind that you literally said you've never played Mario Galaxy.
Yep, missed it completely.
Okay, I have a lot. That's so much. That's so much because that's like one of the greatest games ever made. And the second one, I feel like I compare it all the time to like Kill Bill. I don't know if you've ever seen Kill Bill or not.
Long time ago.
You can't play one without the other. Obviously, you can't watch Kill Bill 2 or you couldn't play, you know, Super Mario Galaxy 2 without playing the first one. It's kind of like you have to have both because the second one kind of feels like a extension of the first one to an extent. But I have so many memories of Super Mario Galaxy, and we just played it on stream a few months ago. We played through that one, and then I did not do the Luigi part because the Luigi part it's insanity. It's the whole same game again, but you have to play with slippery feet, and he jumps and goes woohoo a little different. So I'm really
I have no intent of doing that. I just want like a 120 star. You know what I mean? Just base playthrough. I'll be satisfied.
Yes, and then you can go to 2. That actually that's okay. I didn't think I'd ever meet anybody that's never played Galaxy, so I'm actually pretty excited for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, do I need to play 2? That's where I'm at because I've heard that it's more of the same, but a bit better. But also you lose like the HUD world, you lose your overviews. It's kind of just like I don't want to call it a level simulator, but I've heard it's just kind of like
it's streamlined. It is.
Yeah.
They literally they cut to the chase, but the Yoshi sections and the new power-ups, and I mean, you're going to appreciate it. And the last level of Mario Galaxy 2 is probably one of the hardest levels I've ever played in any video game. So yes, 100% you have to play the second one. It'd be just dire if you didn't play the second one. But play it at your own pace.
All right.
Don't go crazy with it and say, I have to do this. Just, you know, do 10 stars here, 15 there. Do it however you want. Just play how you want to play. That's what's important about it. We just talked about collecting how you want to collect. Now you can play how you want to play. Just not Silent Hill.
Well, that's what I said with Galaxy 1, right? I'm doing it with my younger brothers because they haven't touched it since they were little as well, right? They're 7 years under me. So we're just doing a group play, you know, every star we swap controller. And for me at this point in time, like, I get it, right? I'm a grown-ass man at this point. It's a bit harder for me to just, like, sit down and truly suck myself into a Mario game. It just is. It is what it is. I'm more narrative-driven. But doing it with friends in a group sitting still makes those games very, 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 very enjoyable. It's just unfortunate that it's so hard now as adults to ever get yourself in a, like you said, you and your wife are going to play Silent Hill F. Yes, absolutely play it with someone else. Again, I played that with my brothers, made it way better because as soon as stuff gets janky or bad or stupid, it's like you have other people to share that stupid experience with. If I was sitting there alone playing Silent Hill F, dude, I would have dropped the game.
And I think,
sorry. The point is, I wish that group play was a lot more common still. Obviously, Twitch you can do and stuff, but like the couch sitting and stuff, it makes something like Galaxy. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
well, you have somebody you have their attention. They're not buried in a phone. You have them for that however long you're sitting on the couch playing with them. It's bringing back those memories of you playing those games as a 10-year-old on your couch, and you guys are having all these memories together. Versus, or, obviously you said 7 years younger, they would be way too young, but you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, back in the day before everybody got distracted, obviously we make our living off of this, and this is what we do, is we love to be the distraction, but when you get to spend those very few in-between moments to play something, like right now, I'm playing a game. I hope that you have played it. I'm playing Final Fantasy Tactics right now for the first time, and it is one of the best games I have ever played. I
have heard that many, many times. I have a friend who swears by it being the greatest game ever made.
I mean, I don't know if I'll go that far yet, but what I will tell you is I'm playing it with my middle son right now. We're having the same experience you're having, where we're sitting on the couch, and he is playing his Tears of the Kingdom. But every once in a while, I'll catch him looking at the screen, and then all of a sudden, I look down even more, and he's like, Dad, don't skip that cutscene. I want to listen to what the characters have to say. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm not going to say no to that, which it bleeds right into what you were saying, where you were talking about having those moments. And it's just great that, a 7-year-old gets to experience Final Fantasy Tactics. I was 12, I think, when that game came out. And the reason why I never played it was because it wasn't Final Fantasy 7. I had just beaten Final Fantasy 7. And I went to the Blockbuster store, which I'm not sure if you know what Blockbuster is, but I went to Blockbuster.
I'm not that young, and you're not that old.
I didn't know if it got erased from your memory when it closed down a few years ago, but I went in there and I picked up 2 games. I picked up, I think it was Super Bust a Move, which I thought I got. It wasn't Bust a Move. It was Super Bust a Groove. It's the dancing game that's like DDR, but it's not. There's no gamepad. I picked that up because I thought it was Bust a Move where you shoot the balls in like the puzzle Tetris game. I thought that's what it was. And then I picked up Final Fantasy Tactics. And I had just beaten Final Fantasy 7, so I'm like, I am just ready to dig my teeth right into this new Final Fantasy game. I get it home and I notice it's on a grid. And I'm like, wait a minute. All right, I'm not going to get into this. And I pop it back in the Blockbuster case. And then I popped out Bust a Groove. And I'm like, all right, let's bust some puzzles up here. And it was a guy dancing on the screen with these horrific graphics. And just begging my dad on a Friday night, please take me back to Blockbuster to swap these out, please. And the answer was no. So I was stuck with
my parents never did either. My parents would never take me back either. Never. I have that distinct memory as well.
And my wife made a good point, because I brought this story up to my 7-year-old the other night, and she made a good point. She was in there cooking dinner, and she made a point. She said, and she goes, and that's one of the better parts about getting older, and you can appreciate games differently now than you could when you were younger. But see, that's just because I had the wrong expectation. I thought it was literally going to be like another part of Final Fantasy VII, like in the, Knights of the Round and Chocobo riding and all that stuff. But, I'm enjoying it a lot. I think I'm 60 hours into it. I've had it for a few weeks, and it's going to go down as one of the best Final Fantasies I've ever played. I can already tell you that right now. Just the way that the job system is, you would love it because of the job system where you can literally equip. You can, like right now I have my white mage. Not only is she healing, but she's also attacking as a summoner. So she's like summoning, Cyclops, but also healing at the same time. And it's incredible.
Yeah, that's the job system is what people have tried to sell me on. My issue has always been grid style fighting, or not fighting, but grid style tactic style games. It's never been my, it's never been Fire Emblem. I've never really played a Shining Force. I've never really played Tactics. It's just never been my thing to do that slower. Yeah, I've always found it slow, very slow, and very methodical, tedious.
The best part about this, though, is they did make it to where the battles can be automatic. So you just basically set what you want each unit to do, and then you can fast forward, which is what I've been doing. So when I tell you I have 60 hours in this game, in real time, it probably is closer to 100. because I am fast forwarding the entire time and just watching them do their little thing, and it makes it so much more engaging versus that
It's almost like running an emulator at that point.
Pretty much, but it's great. I do have to ask, kind of segue, because I don't want to forget. I just remembered. I want to know, what I'm curious, what is your most prized possession that you have, graded, ungraded, or Pokemon card? What is that one piece that you would want to show everybody? Because we do have quite a few people right now who are watching, and I just want to know, what would you want to show that this is the one pinnacle piece of your collection?
You just gonna drop that on me? Jeez. I mean, the one that's like quick, I guess, that I have. I mean, it is what I spent the most money on everything. Like, I am a huge Zelda fan, N64 fan, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, all that good stuff. That was my introduction to the series of Zelda, was Ocarina of Time, but it truly was Majora's.
Oh my God.
That was my there it is.
That is
Majora's,
beautiful.
that's really made me like fall in love with everything that Zelda is. So that is the gray, not for resale demo cartridge. It is actually a unique ROM build. So when you pop it into the N64, it has like a menu select, a demo select on it. And then you can, it was meant to be put in the store, right? You'd go to the store, play the kiosk, and it would demo the game for you. So that makes it extremely expensive because it is a unique build. You can also get Majora's Mask NFR as a gold card. Here, you got me going now on a tangent. Now I'm just going to start rattling off information. You know what I mean? Here. But you can also find it as a gold, not for resale, where it uses the same ROM build and it's a lot less expensive. So if you want to get one, if you want an NFR, you can get that one instead. It's but this is probably my prized possession right here. Well, if I was going to show someone, and it's a cartridge, so people can understand, right? It's not graded or anything. But it makes me a good guy. I'm a gamer just like you guys.
Maybe not, because I would guarantee that everybody that's watching this, that's probably the most expensive cartridge that I'll probably ever see, because I know that thing is probably in the 5-digit range, if not more.
I don't think it's 5-digit. I can't get the acrylic case back on, man. It's supposed to be like easy slide, but like I cannot do it. I don't think it's 5 figures, but I think it's like mid 4. Like, say anywhere from 5 to 8,000, condition dependent type thing.
You just like glanced over $5,000 to $8,000. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, frick, I paid 8, dude. So like, you know, I'm lowballing myself here, but the only way I was able to pay 8 is because it was back in the frickin' bubble, and I sold other stuff for more expensive. So I was like, I might as well treat yourself, right? But
okay, so I want to show mine, and it's not quite up there, but you already know what this one is.
Hey, it's not a contest. It's not a contest.
I think you already know which one this is right here. And this is the one that you personally helped me. This is the Chrono Trigger 9.0 with the registration card that I got graded. And you did advise me. I think it was the manual. I think you advised me to get the manual, because I think the manual was an 8. But I just couldn't bring myself. I did have another one lined up, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it, because this actually has the receipt in the box from Walmart.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I think it was either October or January 1996, I believe, and I think this game was 60. It was either $69 or $79. Because the guy that this is actually the game that I've spent the most on. I'm actually kind of embarrassed because I think one at auction on HOD just sold for, I think it was like $2,200 or $2,300, I believe. You'd probably know better than me, but this thing.
Wait, are you into it for more than that?
No, I'm not into it for more than that. I'm into this 2K.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. You're fine.
But this was also like, what, 4 or 5 years ago, I think. I don't remember. There was a guy that I talked to on Instagram, and he posted this with Final Fantasy 3 and I want to say Mystic Quest maybe, and I like had bundled the whole deal together, but we only worked a deal out on this one. And this is I love this game. I've never actually, talk away from the mic. I have actually never played through the whole game. Only
me neither.
It gets too hard. It gets way too hard.
I've played it on emulator, I think 3 or 4 separate times, and every single time I get about 5-6 hours in the game, and then for whatever reason I never pick it up again. I don't know why.
Never do it.
What?
You just never do it. You just never go back. I've
just never finished the game.
There's one game that I always remember going to my friend's house and we'd always start it, but we never got anywhere in it. And that was Secret of Mana. And I still to this day think that that is the best intro if you've ever seen it before. The Secret of Mana entrance or the intro where like he's standing in front of the waterfall and it's coming down and the seagulls start flying. It's like one of the most.
It's funny you say all this. I've played about 4 hours of Secret of Mana probably within the past 2 years. I have no memory of the intro at all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like my mind is blank. I can't remember the intro whatsoever. But I've played it. Like I've seen it. I know I've seen it. I probably still have a save file on my phone because I was giving it a try too.
The boss, they drop you into a boss and it just like wipes you immediately. And I'm like, as a kid playing that at my friend's house, I'm like, I can't figure out what to do next. And we never got past it. But then I see people, I get jealous of some people because they start talking about Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 2 and Secret of Mana, and they get past all these parts. But as a kid, like accessibility was huge for me. Like Mario World, I could beat that. Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, I could beat those. But like games that took a lot of like building your characters up and stuff, I was never good enough to do that on my own as a kid. Point and case, Final Fantasy 10. I got stuck on a boss like 15 hours in, right? And my friend was like, let me take a look at your game save file. He comes over, he starts tinkering. I didn't move one thing into sphere grid, not one thing. He literally started moving all these pieces around. He's like,
it was a no sphere grid run. That's all. You were just doing no sphere grid challenge run.
And I told my oldest son this, and I'm like, he went through and moved all the pieces, and then he literally one-shotted the boss. And I'm like, well, then what was I doing? Like, and I'll always have that memory, and I played Final Fantasy 7, and I was good at Final Fantasy 7, but I guess I just didn't understand the sphere grid, so that's just a me thing.
And just skip that tutorial or something. You were just mashing text, and you just like, do you want to hear about the sphere grid? No, like that won't come up again.
I did have one question that was brought in. I do want to bring this up, and I do actually kind of agree with this question. They want to know if it's possible that you could be a little less chaotic with the knife when you're opening your boxes, because it does concern. I had a couple people that went back and checked out some of your stuff, and they are a little bit concerned with the knife way you open the boxes. And I have to agree, like you give me a panic attack pretty much every single time you open anything, because I can just imagine you slicing into something. So I didn't know if that's something you can maybe get a plastic knife or maybe cut off screen.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't. There's an old unboxing I have where it was like a PSA unboxing where quite literally, because my knife usage is so erratic, I scraped the entire PSA slab on it was a PSA 8 base first edition Zapdos. I just like put the knife right across the face of the slab. So people are right to question the way I handle my knives.
Yeah, for me, like, you give me anxiety every time I watch your videos, because it's like, I just am expecting you to like cut into your product like that Pokemon Yellow that we were talking about earlier from, that got through, customs, and they completely just, not only just didn't even bother opening, but they sliced that thing up. And I think it was like a pretty decently graded game too.
Yeah, that guy was in the Discord. I don't know if you knew that. He shared his story in the Discord and everything. It was, of course, right? Everyone in this hobby is so interconnected. But yeah, he got no recourse on that. There was nothing. He just like was out thousands.
Before I give my opinion, I'm going to ask what your opinion is. If you had to pick one grading company, and if you can't answer this for any reason, I'll understand why. But if you had to pick one,
I'm not paid by them yet.
One of the 3 or 4 companies that grade video games. So we got what now? We got PSA, we have VGA. We have CGC, and then that's it. We'll just call those 3. Like, if you had to pick one of the 3 grading companies, which one are you going to pick?
PSA right now is my lean. Most of my stuff will go through PSA. I think they are the most future-proofed. I think they are likely to be the market leader going forward. VGA is still very nice. I have no issues with them. I don't like CGC's label. I think everything that CGC does, PSA does a bit better, is like my lean on that. And then VGA is a unique offering. If you like VGA, go for it. In my opinion, they're a bit obsolete, but I don't want to like sit here and say, oh no, don't grade with, like, all 3 companies have a great product. Like they truly do. You aren't like making a poor choice if you choose CGC. You're completely fine. There's good resale value. It's just not where I personally love to send stuff at this time. I lean PSA.
Well, the reason why I did a lot with CGC was because of the turnaround times. Because for me, the turnaround times meant something. But I do feel like I enjoyed the customer experience of the Wata games better. I enjoyed the way the look. And I'm going to be the first to say, or not the first to say, but I'm going to be one of the ones, I don't particularly care for the new PSA fonts. I'm a huge font person. And for me, like, I feel like all the fonts on all the ones have been great. But when I saw that one the other day, I haven't seen it in person because I have to. And it's just, I don't know what it is about that font. The label's
not great,
fine.
man. It's not great.
It's just the number, which I figure after they do more testing, I'm sure they'll come out with a different label in a couple years, a different, font and all that stuff. But I think if I had to pick one personally, I would probably pick VGA. I think the VGA looks the best. I think that the way that they displays the cleanest, and I feel like the labels, and I feel like the care is there for them, but their turnaround times are just not good.
No, VGA, I would like a lot if they just modernize some things about their company, or like their, they've been around for like what, almost 20 years now. Jeez. Okay, PSA and CGC just took the comic scale, the 92, 94, 96, whatever. You can like that, don't like it. But the way that VGA has the combined grade, and it's like, an 85, an 85 plus, an 80 plus, all of that is kind of meaningless to try and articulate to someone. I know, okay, 9.2A plus still doesn't like mean anything, but I think it's easier to translate, okay, that's your box, and like that's your seal, versus it's an 85, which means it could have fading, it could have a rip, it could have dents, yes. You don't really know where to even start with what it could be. That's like my biggest issue with the VGA grading, but yeah, it's nice, it looks good. I will buy VGA stuff all day long. It's not where I want to send stuff anymore, type thing.
Have you ever seen 100 in person?
In person, nope, never.
I think I searched because I actually sent in, I'm not sure if I ever told you or not. I can't find one right now because I don't know where they're at. But I did send in a case of Xenoblade, and I was like, I think I'm going to get 100 out of it.
Yeah, you did tell me that, yes.
And I ended up getting two 95U pluses and a 90U plus, and I think a 95U, I think is what I got. Those are
you did very well on them, if I recall as well.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate when you speculate in this market. You think you have a product, but there is, I believe, 100 out there of that game, and it's a U, obviously. So that automatically, you had made a video, I think a couple days ago, I think it was about the Switch, and basically how if you didn't get you're chasing that 10. If you don't get that 10, then you're pretty much toast. And so now I'm dealing with that. I've got 4 copies of Xenoblade on the Wii that I'm trying to kind of decide if I can just say, hey, here's 3 of them, whatever they go for, but in the back of my head, I'm like, they're worth more than that. They're worth more than that. And that's why I have.
Well, you could probably swap. You have 3 copies. You'd probably get 2 10s out of them.
Might have to try that.
It was an option.
And personally,
it was an option.
Would you recommend sending them the way they are, or would you crack them?
I would send them as they are, just because they are like 95 plus U. I would send them in the case as they are. Hopefully it, you know what I mean? Hopefully it,
influences. We know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Hopefully it butters them up a little bit, seeing that it's a 95U or 95 plus U.
What is your biggest collecting regret? Like, I guess has there been something that you either sold at a cheap price that you wish you would have held on to, or is there something that you just know you'll never get again that you got rid of? Because I think you said earlier, you said that pretty much you can almost get everything back that you wanted to, but is there that one thing? Because I know that if you sold Majora's Mask, right, I know that would probably be a pretty...
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to buy it again. I probably wouldn't, just because I don't know a time when I'll be able to spend that much money again without, you know what I mean, without care, essentially. Man, regret's tough. You know me, no regrets. It's there's certain things where I wish I would have like bought something at a time. There's some really cool stuff like Sonic Adventure Limited Edition. It's a Hollywood Video exclusive on Dream. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there was a factory sealed one, and it was like graded, and this was probably like 10 years ago. I didn't even know that came factory sealed. And but even go back 10 years or whatever it was, it sold for hundreds, if not low thousands. And we're talking like 2015 when nothing is worth anything. And I was the underbidder. And I always think about that one where I'm like, damn, that is truly the only copy I've ever seen. I'm not even a big Dreamcast guy. But like, I love those rare niche Yeah, Sonic Adventure Limited Edition was like a demo release, Hollywood video only. I think it's a little bit different than the retail. I can't even remember now. It probably only includes a couple levels or something. Do you?
It's a 2-disc. If we're thinking about the same one, I'm pretty sure it's like a 2 discs, and it's like the whole game, and then the other disc was like some sort of like preview disc, but the disc itself actually does say limited edition on it, which is I'm a huge Sonic Adventure fan. So for me, like I have been chasing that one for a long time, and the fact that you just said there's a sealed one that I had no idea, because it was a Hollywood video exclusive. So they were directed, just like Sculptor's Cut, to make sure everyone was open. And so, and let's not even
it shouldn't exist factory sealed.
And Dreamcast isn't the highest quality. That plastic is, I've got a couple that I've taken really good care of my Dreamcast games, and they're messed up. Like, that's the best way to say it. The games are messed up. The boxes are messed up. So, like, you know, when you're chasing that perfect, and I'm looking at Phantasy Star Online right now. I'm interested in a sealed copy of that on 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast, and every one of them, like, you come across there's not dents, but like the lines were like, I guess it must have got dented, and it broke the inside. So the shrink wrap looks good, but the case itself is jacked. Is the best way to put it. And then people think they have gold sometimes, so it's like, you can't. I want to make an offer on this. You know, it is kind of damaged. What can we do? And they don't want to budge on the price.
No, I know. So with regrets, it's tricky, you know, without being too like philosophically corny. I really don't regret much, like, at all with collecting. I don't think about a lot of the decisions I make of what I don't buy, or what did I buy, what did I sell, what didn't I sell. Because, like, if I'm making the decision to sell something, right, I could say my biggest regret is not selling every single game I own in 2021. Let's be honest, right? That should be everyone's biggest regret right now. They were, 20 times more expensive then than they were now? My collection was probably $1 million. Let's be honest. It was like, that should be my biggest regret, right? But you can only do what you think you can do based on information you have. So it's like, I sold off a little bit of stuff. I kept some stuff. At the time, I thought it was fine. We weren't gonna. I genuinely, I don't want to say, like, I don't live with regrets, but, like, I try to always make decisions based on information I have. So it's like, at the time, I thought I was making a good choice, or, like, at the time, it made sense for me to hold it. So there's no point for me to, like, look back and be like, oh man, why did I screw up? Like, so long as you're making decisions consciously and you're thinking about what you're doing, there's no reason to, like, really beat yourself up, or, you know, think about things from back then. I don't know. Again, without getting, like, too philosophically corny.
No, I came across. I get it. My biggest regret is I did sell. I had an Ocarina of Time 3DS, the black system. I think it was for the 25th anniversary in 2000.
Yeah, with that, like, gold trim around the outside of it.
I worked at GameStop, and I was actually able to go through the box on Black Friday when we got our shipment in. And so I actually picked, like, I curated it. I picked the one that wasn't, like, damaged. I set that on the counter, and I was able to get it. I want to say, I think at Black Friday, it was like $149 for the bundle. Like, it was some stupid price. And I'm like, $149? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to buy that all day. And I put it in, I have a ritual that I do, right? When I get a brand new game that I plan on keeping, I put it in a bag. And GameStop used to have their thick bags, and I had this thing in the bag, double bagged. Took it home, set it in the shelf, didn't touch it until I got, you know, in my feels or whatever. I was feeling good. I was like, all right, I got to start purging my collection. And that was like the first thing that went when I started purging in 2018. My biggest regret.
Oh, good. Like a couple of years before prices went up.
Yeah, right. And now that system is, I've looked, because I get sick, because when I tell you I knew every scratch on the box, like I knew every dent, I knew everything about this copy, and I ended up selling it to somebody in the community. They had talked me into it. They're like, hey, we can do this off of eBay. We can just skip eBay. I'll PayPal you the friend way or whatever. You just mail it to me, no big deal. And I was like, oh, this is great. I'm making a couple $100 on it. And that is my biggest regret, because now I'm seeing what it is worth, and I actually like Zelda a lot. Zelda's my favorite franchise, so I wish I would have hung on to that one, because that one does burn, because I have went back to, I want to get another one. And I think I saw a video the other day, and I think somebody sold one for like $1,500 or something. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll cost you money. You're in a good spot, though, where, like, yeah, $1,500 sucks, but it's still doable. You can do that, you know what I mean? It's not, like, so far gone. Yeah, you still have a lot of collection, hey? I assume you could, like, sell some stuff, shuffle some stuff around, or did you really purge off quite a bit?
5 things, I think. Yeah. So
Oh, you didn't do nothing.
No, I know. Trust me. Yeah. So I mean, I use you a lot because you do make the collecting update videos, and you're like, just purge and purge and become more focused. And I am trying to become more like focused and intentional. But then when I start packing things up, and I'm like, because I'm gonna end up doing some consigning of things. I message you every few months, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do it. I'm trying to psych myself into it, but
For real this time.
yeah, for real, it's gonna happen.
For real this time.
I mean, my wife tells me all the time. She's like, you just got to do it, man. Just do it. Like, stop talking and just do it. But it's just like I start packing it, start looking at the prices of things, and I'm like, this is gonna go up soon. No, it's not going to, but
I feel like that's the copium though that like turns every collector into a hoarder, where it's like, oh well, if I sell this random Xbox game now, what if it goes up in a couple of years? And it's like, does it really matter? Like, is it really gonna change anything about anything?
It's all emotional. It's about detaching. And
it is. I
have a friend. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a long story here. I'll make it condensed. I have a friend who owns a
okay. Yeah, let me lock in here.
he opened a comic book store up like 20 years ago, right? And he's a decent friend. Like, I can go in there and I can just talk to him for hours or whatever. I was gonna open up a video game store 3 years ago, and
you were right. I think I remember this.
Yeah. I was gonna open it. I had the location picked out. I had built up the inventory, which I'm still trying to get rid of a lot of that stuff. And he said, he goes, here's the deal, right? You're an emotional person. And I said, oh great, where's this going? Like, I already, what kind of therapy session I'm about to get here?
He's calling you out on the spot.
Really, he goes, ask me how many comic books I own. And I said 100, right? He goes 2. And he has 1, which is like a signed comic book. He said, I'm never getting rid of it. It's beat up. He didn't care about it, but it's signed. And then the other one was Spider-Man #1, which he paid, I think, $100,000 for it. He said, I'm never getting rid of either one of these things, but as soon as I take anything on trade, action figures, Pokemon cards, comic books, they immediately are appraised and they go up and there's no attachment. He said, well, that's great, but I'm 30 years into this now, like 30 years. I'll say 5. So I'm almost 35 years into collecting at this point. So I use you we'll bring it circle here. I do use you as guidance, and I hope that anybody in my community goes, and I'm going to, I tag your YouTube channel on my Discord, and I also tag you in the YouTube video when I do it, but I want them to use you as a tool because you do to an extent have some of the problems that I have. You do have some of those, like the hoarding, not.
Oh, of course. Dude, my background is boxes stacked to the frickin' I have hoarding issues, dude.
But you segue really well into making content. Like, for instance, when you sold me this, right, you milked this baby. Not only did you get paid for this, right, but you also made 2 or 3 videos because you're like, I'm going to have this memory. And you turned this memory right here of you playing this game into, now you have permanent memories on YouTube. So
yes, well, that was one of the big things. I was like, oh, I want to make sure I make a video about this. I want to because it's like a $200 game. That's content right there. I can't just let that out of my house without doing something with it.
But let's just talk about how good of a game it is. This is like one of the greatest series of all time. My wife, I know she's watching right now. She's going to agree because I got her hooked on this a few weeks ago. This is one of the greatest franchises of all time. It's just they don't make games like that anymore, unfortunately.
That goes back to the like I said with the couch co-op thing though, being a dead that is peak sit down couch co-op, play with a friend, and it's just not even like hack and slash, Baldur's Gate or Champions Norath. That was one of my favorite genres. It's dead, doesn't exist. Go play Diablo 4 online, right? That's the closest thing you can get now.
But it's not the same. It's just not.
Oh no, it's not even close.
Because I have memories of playing Halo. Here, okay, let me try to articulate this. Playing Halo, right, where you had to hook the Xboxes up with a hub, and you would be
nice little LAN party.
Yeah, right. And we would sit there and complain as teenagers. We'd be like, "Why can't this be online? Why can't this be online?" And then it came, and it's overtaken everything. And it's just not the same because playing Smash Brothers online is not as fun as being able to yell at your friend beside of you or playing Champions of Norath on PS2 and being able to strategize how you want to do it, or Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube, with the Game Boys.
Yeah, yes.
So gaming, there's somebody in my chat right now. They're talking about how they're glad that I'm doing a podcast because I rant a lot, and I try to catch myself because when I start spiraling down that rant hole, for me, I don't want to be like, get off my lawn. I don't want to be like that. What I want to be is, I think that we need to embrace the way that things used to be, because we're going down a dark path. I don't know how much you keep up with like Game Pass and digital gaming and all that stuff, but it's just not fun.
I know it's not good, dude. That's what I know about it. I know it's not good.
And Tales of Xillia just got canceled on Xbox physically, and I know there's a select group of people that are upset about that because they can't play. They'll have to get it digitally now, and I'm a huge Tales fan.
Didn't Xillia, doesn't that come out a long time ago? Am I thinking of a different one?
So they're working on the next Tales game right now. We don't know what that is, and they've been remastering all their old ones because you can't play any of them unless you have the old physical copies, and it's a whole thing. But they just released Xillia on the Switch and the PS5, but everybody pre-ordered the Xbox version, which comes out this week. I think it was supposed to come out on Tuesday, I believe. And they got an email like on Monday saying it got canceled completely. So the only way to get that now, I believe, is digitally. The Xbox segment's a whole different thing altogether. It's not even...
Well, I'm like, I don't want to say I'm boycotting Xbox, but like, I don't even think about them. You know what I mean? They're like just not even on my, I don't want to do anything with Xbox anymore ever, basically.
Well, because they're not the same. I watched a good video on it. There's a really good video that talks about how the Activision Blizzard merger is basically what the downfall of Xbox was, because now they're having to recoup that like $45 billion they spent on that company. So, doing a bunch of, I think they're shady business practices.
Yeah, link me that video. Link me that. I could use a good refresh on how why good. Xbox sucks.
No, it's good. It's real good, because you have to understand, I used to be a huge Xbox fan. I was the one.
Well, I was 10 years ago.
I was the one in 2001 when it came out who was playing Halo and Shrek, and I'm trying to think what the snowboarding game was. I can't for the life of me think of what that snow. There was
Shrek actually an Xbox exclusive? I love that you shout out Shrek.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was. And if it wasn't, you know how like back in the day, like there'd be that one version out of the versions that would be the version.
Yeah.
So Shrek, believe it or not, actually like showcased the Xbox, because it was basically a computer in front of your TV. And all of my friends, I remember getting my Xbox. I begged my dad. I said, "Hey, there's an Xbox at EB Games. It comes with Halo, comes with an extra controller. That's what I want for Christmas." And he's like, "You're not getting that." And he just ordered it anyways. He's like, he pulled the old, "I'm not going to do that, but did it anyways" move. And I hooked it up.
That's a real dad move right there.
And I just couldn't quit playing Halo. It was just so much fun. And my friends came over. I remember my one friend came over and he's like, I can't use the words he used. He used a lot of teasing words that I can't use here. And I'm just like, dude, just play Halo for an hour. You'll change your mind. He left my house bad-mouthing me. And lo and behold, the next time I went to his house, what was in front of his television? An Xbox with Halo. And I'm like, yeah. And then it was like, that's what Xbox did. It was like you experienced something that you just never experienced before, and it just took off. And then we had LAN parties, and then one of my fondest memories definitely was Halo 2. Halo 2 is probably one of the greatest experiences I've ever had with gaming. It just was everything.
I mean, yeah, I had an Xbox too. I was a little bit like, we had Halo 1, Halo 2, but I don't have core memories because I was just a little bit young. Like, I have Halo 2 memories of just like playing not online, just like against my brother, right? My older brother, just playing on what is like it's not Xanarkand. It has the big windmill level with the sand and the beach.
Yeah, I think it was that sounds.
Well, Xanarkand is FF10. So.
Oh. Zanzibar.
What's the name of the?
It's Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. There it is. Zanzibar.
Yep. With you. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's definitely
Xanarkand. That's the one.
Now I'm listening to
I knew it was close. But I have some memories of that. Halo 3 are my like core co-op campaign memories. And then Gears 2. I was big Xbox guy too. Like, don't get me wrong. I freaking love collect. I love collecting original Xbox and 360. You probably know this. Anytime original Xbox comes up, man, I will say it is criminally undervalued. No one loves it. No one collects it, and they should.
My only pushback on that is I've seen in person a full Xbox collection, and the green cases just don't display well. I'm a big fan.
Like original Xbox?
Yeah, I just don't like that green. That green is just like.
You saw someone in real life who had the full collection.
Yep, and it's not. I don't like that color.
Impressive.
I don't like that. There is. I'm not going to. What is it? Name drop or anything? But there is someone very close.
Dox them.
There is.
Like, what's their address?
Close, I would say within 30 minutes of where I live. They almost have a complete PlayStation.
Write that down, chat.
They've got almost a complete PlayStation 1 collection, and the amount of things they post on a daily basis of them getting like the hauls they cut like locally and then online is. I know that's kind of like. I know we're talking about Xbox and I'm going to PlayStation, but it's a thing of beauty. And that to me is a PlayStation 1 is a work of art, in my opinion. I'm a huge PlayStation 1, the way it displays.
It is, but like, what is there, 1,700 games in the North American library? It's just like the good games are a work of art, but then you have 1,000 games that are just like, I don't know, 7 people have played. Like there's going to be every game is going to have someone who's like, oh, that's the best game on PS1, but like, it's like I can't even, every day I feel like I'm seeing a new PS1 game, and I'm like deep in collecting, and it's like I don't even know them all.
Well,
can't know them all.
So what? Okay, so for me, let me ask this: since you brought up Xbox and you were a little bit too young, what? So core memory wise, like what? So you core memory started what 360 for you then?
N64. N64 and GameCube I was heavier into than Xbox. So like I have some really good memories of like Fable on Xbox or Fable. We had a lot of Xbox games, but like, we had Morrowind. I was way too young to play it. The Xbox is tough. I have like really good memories with Sunshine, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1, and then N64, obviously Ocarina and Banjo-Kazooie and all that stuff. Dragon Warrior on NES, but
what about Majora's
Xbox
Mask?
was just tough.
Majora's Mask?
Yes. But I didn't play Majora's until later. That's the thing. Like I had Ocarina, then we got Xbox, then we got, 360. Then I got Majora's. Then Majora's came, like, you know what I mean? We meant to rent Majora's or something back in the day. It was one of those Blockbuster stories where like we just never did, or they didn't have it, or whatever it was.
I think it was, and you can correct me how you feel, but I feel like Majora's Mask maybe came at the wrong time because it came out the same day as the PlayStation 2. So you have...
Did it actually?
64, right? You've got 64 graphics, and then you've got Emotion Engine in PS2. And they're talking Toy Story graphics, which I know that's like a tagline. I get it. But the difference between the way SSX looks versus Majora's Mask even... Like even those two games where you've got one where they invested heavily in the art style, but you have the other one where, they it's a PS2 game that looks phenomenal. Even today, if you look at SSX now, like if somebody hooked it up, you're going to be like, wow, that looks like the colors pop and it's smooth. So I say this all the time, I played Majora's Mask the day it came out, but because I was playing Dreamcast and I was playing NFL 2K, and then, oh my gosh, there comes PlayStation 2 with SSX, and I'm thinking I ended up playing Final Fantasy 9 on PS2 more than anything, but for me,
I'm looking at the year here for Final Fantasy 10 as well.
It was 2000. It was 2000. December of 2000. And I remember because
December 01.
01. Okay, so I was a year off. Yeah, because I remember.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's my issue, right? So PS2 is the first console I bought with my own money.
There you
so
go.
Then at that point, I was already playing Final Fantasy 10.
Right. And the graphics are so.
It's not.
I mean, at that point, it really does feel like Nintendo, and I'm not trying to diss Majora's Mask. I've got Skull Kid right here. I am on board with Majora's Mask, but I'm just saying at the time, when you're a kid and you just want the latest and greatest, like, if you're telling your friends you're playing Majora's Mask and they're playing Final Fantasy X, I mean, you're getting teased.
Oh, that's why we never got it, I think, is because like we really wanted to play it. Oh my God, let's buy it, let's play it, let's rent it, all this stuff. I bought a PS2. I'm playing Final Fantasy X. I'm playing Counter-Strike Source, and that was it. Like I was gone, right? It was I didn't go back until it was like, hey, I'm 17 years old, I have my own money. Oh my God, hey, there's Majora's, I can finally play it.
Nope.
And then it was like, oh, it's fantastic. But it was through a different lens of like appreciation for what Oot was, and then going back almost as an adult.
I remember, that's funny you mentioned Final Fantasy X, and I mentioned the Sphere Grid. That's embarrassing. So for I remember being in Best Buy and seeing Final Fantasy X. It was around Christmas of 2001, and I walked in and they had it. That was back when you could pick the game up and take it to the counter or whatever. And I just remember losing my mind. I'm like, oh my God. Like, because back then Final Fantasy was like everything to me. I like Zelda, I like Mario, but Final Fantasy, I guess because of 7, I will stand on the hill forever and just say 7 is like, I tell everybody, Link to the Past is number 1, Link to the Past is number 1, Mario 64 is number 2, and then Final Fantasy 7. And Final Fantasy 7, even as an adult, I can't go back and play it now because I don't have the time. It's just the style of it don't have the time to dedicate to it, but that's why I like.
You played the remake, I'm sure. Hey, did it hit for you?
No, it did not, and it's
okay. So that was my first experience. I missed 7, so like the remake for me, I was like, oh great, I finally understand 7.
They took
that's my.
I feel like they Kingdom Hearts'd it. They took a great storyline that was it was just a fantastic storyline. Now the music in 7 remake and those two games, the music is phenomenal. The music's way better in both those games, but for me the story, when they start doing branching paths, like that's, to me, they're starting to, they should have, in my opinion, they should have just taken the game and they should have just updated the visuals, kind of like Dragon Quest, how they did those games, the Dragon Quest 2D games. I think those are beautifully and they're tastefully done, which is, I'm not sure if I ever told you, but a few years ago I played Dragon Quest for the first time, which Dragon Quest 11, and absolutely fell in love. And started digging a little bit into the series, and it just seems like...
Was that your first Dragon Quest experience?
Yeah. Yep. And I did buy this game, right? I don't know if you've ever played this one. I did buy this on launch, but I never played it. There's a reason why I got this.
How do you buy that back when it came out and not play? Did you buy it just for the demo?
Just for the demo, yep. Yep.
That is genuinely, I would say, like one of the best JRPGs on PS2, period.
And that's what everybody says. It's on my list of to do. But my point with Dragon Quest, right, is for the most part, they are embracing the history of this franchise. We know what our fans want. And I feel like with Final Fantasy, they've kind of drifted off since, like, I would say 13. I think 13 is where they kind of went off the rails. The battle system in 13 is fantastic, but I feel like they just are so busy trying to experiment. Like 16 came out a couple years ago, and I find it to be one of the worst games. I think Medium Dog, he's on your Discord. I've talked to him about it, and I'm pretty sure, he absolutely just loves 16. He loved it. His perspective was completely different than mine, but my perspective on it is I want turn-based. I want to think. I don't want, Kingdom Hearts, and the remakes are good. The remakes of 7 are good. The story branching out and retelling, it throws me off. Whereas with Dragon Quest, with 11, you could feel that this is something they've carried over the years. And I'm not wrong, because there's a lot of music from this game in 11. I actually did switch the soundtrack to the Dragon Quest 8 soundtrack. And I can hear the little noises in my head. And I know there's little blue goos. I know exactly where they're at. The slimes, I know where they're at. What a wonderful franchise. Dragon Quest has become one of my favorite. I have so much respect for that franchise.
That's great to hear. That is genuinely, like, I started with Dragon Warrior 1 on like NES way back, and then jumped all the way up to 8 there, and then like it's great. It's a great franchise. Fantastic. I need to play 11 still. They take 100 hours, so I don't sit down to play every single one at all times, but like I need to play the remakes here, and I'll get to them eventually. But I didn't play 7 back in the day, so for me, remake was like, kind of my first. 7 is another game just like Chrono Trigger for me, where I've loaded it up on the emulator, I'd say 6 times. And the furthest I've ever gotten was to Dawn whatever. I dressed Cloud up as a girl, and then like that's where I quit. I did all of that, and
that's not even out of disc 1.
No, I know. I haven't even gotten the FF7 experience, dude, like at all.
And this is, we'll see the difference. So I think a lot of it's nostalgia. If I didn't play it, like if I was in your shoes, I would probably have the same opinion, because for me,
my favorite is 8, right? I started with 8, so I frickin' love 8. And then I went 9, 10, 12. And then 13 was where I stopped playing the series because 13.2 and 13.3 were very bad.
13.2, not with 13.2, 10.2, I bought that at Circuit City because I had birthday money.
I didn't play 10.2 either.
It is, and I think it's horrific. You want to talk about earlier, you had talked about Mario Galaxy 2 and how they like streamlined the process. And Final Fantasy X-2, they completely, it's like all menu, like you don't travel through towns and stuff. You actually just go through the menus and select. And it's like, for me, that took away the fun of exploring, which is why the newer ones I'm not a real big fan of, because I like getting in the airship or in the Bronco or whatever little travel, go find. 8's a good example. There's a streaming buddy that I have on here who is, if I asked him, it would either be Tomb Raider or it'd be Final Fantasy VIII, and I know it'd be one of the two games, or Spyro, one of the three. And I caught him one night playing. It was really late at night, like 3 a.m, and he was playing Final Fantasy VIII, and he was trying to hunt down UFOs in the game, which I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That was a thing. I didn't even know the Easter egg was there, and I've played 8. I've never beat 8. I've beat disc 1 of 8. That's as far as I've got. I like the junction system.
My 7 experience and your 8 are like very close.
My thing with 8 is I don't want the things to level up with me. I want to, you talk about earlier about numbers, and you like having those numbers, those high numbers. When I play an RPG, I want to grind to 99 and I want to wipe everything out and I want to just get through the story. I want to be so OP that I can literally look at my son and be like, check this out, watch this. 1 hit, you're done. 9's on the screen, and that's how I play RPGs. I like to be, it's a video game. And when they started scaling, and I know that there's a way to break, I do know now, I've done a little bit of research, you can break the battle system to where it is in your favor. I am tempted at some point to go back and revisit 8 with a new fresh set of eyes.
It's one of the, like, I don't like that it scales with you either. As a dumb kid, I didn't even know it did, right? So like the game was getting harder as I was getting higher level, and it was just like, what's going on? But like, I never liked that either. But just, I think because 8 was my first Final Fantasy ever, and I would have been, I don't know, 7 years old playing it. It was just like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Squall is so cool. Like, I was locked in.
But the gunblade, whoever designed the gunblade is like the coolest weapon ever. Like, think about it. You run out of ammo, you have a sword. I mean, like, that's smart. Like, and it
was sick.
And so that music of 8 has to like really just, it just has to like get you going, because like you remembered that music as a kid and you never really put it together, but now you hear it and you're like, oh yeah, that's 8. Because I actually, before we started this, believe it or not, I was in a thread, I think it was on Reddit, where somebody asked what the best Final Fantasy in-game battle music was. And Final Fantasy VIII was the one that won, and I forgot what it's called now. It's because I was listening to it. I didn't realize how good the ending music is, like the last battle music. I thought 7's was good, but 8 actually is really good. It sounds really cool. It's got layers to it. Like you can feel, not even playing the end of the game, you can feel the different steps of like the battle in that song. It like progresses.
I still listen to the 8 soundtrack. I watch speedruns. Like, I'm just in deep, right? I'll like, it's great background noise. Just turn on an 8-hour 8 run, and you're like, perfect. I'll just have that on the side monitor today while I edit. It's like fantastic.
And you don't have to pay
attention. Do you speedrun
it.
Yet? Did you get deep into that? I don't know if you do.
I have one speedrun. I got it last year. It's the original Mario Brothers on Nintendo, and I think I was 500th place or something. But it is something.
Did you get a sub 5?
Oh no. No. Do you know, have you ever played that game to know what a sub 5 entails?
I know that sub 5 is like it's the first humanly like okay, 454 obviously is insane, but like a sub 5 is supposed to be kind of doable with like what, 10 hours of practice, give or take.
Yeah. I said some colorful language on stream last year, so I am that is one thing I am working on myself. I am working on the language because my children, they do watch some of my clips, and so I do edit out the swear words now, but that's
Dad's losing it on there.
Yeah, and when the kids are like, "Hey, I don't think we're supposed to say that word," I'm like, you're right. I should be a better example. But
but I can't get a fucking sub 5.
I think it was either 6 or 7. I mean, I could go look it up, but that's the only one. Now, Link to the Past, there is a guy that actually.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if you ever got into Link to the Past speedruns, because that is like your game.
It is my game. I do have. I think I'm at like 6,000 hours in it. It is.
That's crazy, dude.
the amount of skill it takes. Okay, so there's a lot of my people in here right now. They're gonna roast me for this, but what I struggle on is low percent boss battles. So in order to be able to break through to that next level, and a randomizer that I play a lot of, you can collect, you can become OP really quick if you get the right items in the right order. But on the original game, to get really good, you have to master the bosses. And even though most of them are like pattern based, the world record guy, I go on his Twitch all the time, and to get good at that game, you have to, like, he'll be in there for hours practicing
Who is the record holder? I'm just curious if I know his name.
Starts with.
Oh, sorry. I just hoped you had it off the top of your head there.
It starts with an X, but I don't want to mispronounce it because I have that. I have that problem, obviously. What is his name? I rate him every once in a while. He doesn't have many people because he plays legitimately like the same. I watched him one day. He was doing he was trying to get from like the light world to the dark world, and he was trying to do this one part, but he was spending hours for a 5-second part. So it's kind of hard to watch when he's rewinding.
You gotta watch the grind. That's the fun of speedrunning. You watch the grind for 8 hours. There's no fun in speedrunning, but you gotta watch it.
That's probably why I don't do it. I cannot find him. It starts with an X. And I know that's bad. I can't pull it off the top of my head because I know if I say it, I'm going to completely butcher it. But I think he's.
No, it's fine. I'm decently deep into speedrunning, and sometimes guys who master one game like have separate games where they're like, some guys are really, really good at freaking speedrunning.
Yeah, and I am good at, like, when I get the items, I can start to piece together where to go next. And what I like about what I'm learning is here a flaw that I've had my entire life, and I'm going to admit this, and a lot of people are going to agree with this, but my biggest flaw is I spend a little bit of time and I think I'm the best, and then I come across somebody who's better than I am, and then I get discouraged. But what life is, what I'm finding out is that you have to kind of understand that you can always get better. Even like in sports, the more you practice, you're going to learn something every time. And the funny part is I have been playing Link to the Past for 33 years, legitimately 33 years. So like since 1992, I have legitimately been playing this game. But I'm still learning things about it. Ask me how, I don't know. I can pop up a stream and I'll watch and I'll be like, holy crap, they're routing way better than me. Or somebody in chat will pop in and they're like, hey, you're doing that completely wrong. And I'm like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. I got thousands of hours in this. And then I'm like, just try it this way. And I try it and they're right. So once you learn to accept that you're not the best and you can always learn and figure something out, I guess the day that we become perfect is the day we don't exist anymore, is what I have gathered at this point, is accepting that, you can always be better. Anything you do, YouTube videos, collecting, Link to the Past speedrunning, whatever, commentating, however you want to, it doesn't matter. The list goes on.
No, I agree fully. Losing in fighting games is often more fun than winning to me, because it's like, it presents that thing of like, okay, how do I get over this? Right? Because when you're just winning, it's like, okay, that's cool. You're getting the dopamine hit of winning, but like, I don't know if you ever play fighting games, but like when you drop 10 in a row, it's like, what do I need to do? How do I do it? Rematch. Right? It's like, no, you're not freaking like rematch. We're going again. You're not walking away from this screen until, you know what I mean?
I'm a fighting fan, but I'm a Tekken fan, and my favorite Tekken is Tekken 3. So
okay, I grew up with it.
We had rules.
Did you keep
you couldn't be gone, and you couldn't be Dr.
level?
B. That's the two rules.
Sorry?
You couldn't be gone, and you couldn't be Dr. B. That was in my house. It was like no gone and non Dr. B because they were just too short. You couldn't hit them, and it was just like, it's kind of like GoldenEye. You couldn't be Odd Job or Jaw, whatever his name was.
Yeah. I didn't play. I wasn't a GoldenEye guy. Didn't have it.
So what is your fighting game? Don't say Smash Brothers.
I would play Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Melee. I like Marvel vs. Capcom a lot. Fighter Z is fine. I like games that are like Street Fighter. 2D fighters are basically and then also Melee. I really like, or Melee, sorry. I freaking don't want to pronounce it wrong for the fans.
It's okay. There's going to be some people already correcting you. I can feel it.
Yeah, I know. I unironically say Melee so much now that it just became part of my You know, like I just say it now without even thinking about it. But Melee was what I played seriously. Like I went to competition and stuff. That was what I actually like got into.
It's funny to me that in my opinion, that's the perfect Smash Brothers game. I think they did everything right with that game, and they've had like 3 or 4 sequels since then. And they, in my opinion, they haven't even come close to what Melee has even. I feel like they just keep trying to improve on that, but that is one of the most perfect fighting games in my opinion. I feel like it's so well balanced, and I just remember Christmas Day or Christmas weekend or whatever when that game came out, and I remember just sitting down playing it, and I just had so many. It was magic, literally.
And I don't want to like sit here and disparage on Ultimate. Ultimate has a lot of really good things about it. It does, but I can't play Ultimate at a competitive level. It's just like too floaty, too slow, too rock, paper, scissors. I don't like the actual meta when you start getting competitive. Party game, sitting down casually, sure, let's play some Ultimate,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But as soon as you want to turn items off and actually play serious, it's not for me.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's my. But like Melee, I want to play no items. Like I'm like let's play some Melee, right? Like.
But speaking of like when we're talking about music earlier though, man, you said Marvel vs. Capcom. If I had to pick one fighting game, it would be Marvel vs. Capcom 2, strictly because of the soundtrack and like the vibe, like that. I'm not good at that game. I'll never be good at that game. But just the roster,
I'm not great at it either. I'm not great at it.
The roster of characters though, Resident Evil, like freaking Mega Man, like oh my dude. I don't understand why we can't get. I know we got the third one. I don't know if they did a fourth one. I think they canceled it or something. But I know the third one came out and it just wasn't. It just didn't hit the same as the second one. There's something about the second one. I don't know what it is. It just hits different, and that's why I don't.
Like me and my brother just played it like 4 hours. I'd say 3 weeks ago. We just had like a Marvel versus Capcom 2 night, and you learn very, very, very quickly how unbalanced the roster is. Even at like a pretty casual level, it's like. All right, this guy I can't use. I get it. Like, I'll swap off or whatever. You know what I mean? On both sides, where it's like Iron Man's pretty OP. Then you check a tier list, and it's like, oh yeah, he's S tier. Of course he is. I figured that out very quickly, even as a casual. Yeah, it's very unbalanced game, very unbalanced, but super fun. Super fun.
It is. I think for me, it's the music. I think I have a thing with music in games. I think it just for whatever reason I hear music and I'm just like it just locks me in, and I think that jazz like. It just does it for me, and the music noises too that the menus make, that like you know that noise it makes.
Yeah, it's
you can hear it right now. I know you can because I can hear it.
I know it's in my head. Like yes, 100%.
And but Tekken 3, I would pick that. I would pick that. I know that I spent many nights at my friend's house, and he was the one friend that had the PlayStation. So that, you know, I had the Final Fantasy 7 memories with him. I had the Tekken memories, the Ridge Racer, the hundreds of games that I talk about all the time.
Did you keep up with Tekken at all? I think it's what, 6 now, 7?
8.
Did you keep up?
I gave up. Yeah. The last one, I think I got 7 on the Steam sale for like $5 or something. I think it's not like you talk about Ultimate. It's just not my scene anymore. Like they're, without getting too far into it, they're DLCing your staple characters, and I don't believe in that. I don't believe that your staple characters should ever be DLC. I think staple characters need to be in the game. Like that's
wasn't what Heihachi dropped his DLC? Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, that's.
I agree 100% with you. That was insane.
That's. Could you imagine buying Legend of Zelda and they're like, all right, you know, Zelda is actually DLC. Like what?
No, I agree with you 100%. I saw that and I was like, oh man, they're doing like, obviously I'm a casual, but I'm like, they are doing Tekken fans dirty right now. Yeah. Sucks to be you guys. Like, couldn't be me, you know?
But I'm trying to think of what fighting game even today would be, you know, I don't know. Even like the Mortal Kombat, like the whole scene has like changed. And I guess I was complaining earlier about Final Fantasy 16, but I guess maybe I am just getting so up in age at this point that like they're going with the market. You know, speaking of market earlier, we're talking about like market of prices of games, but maybe they're just appealing to a different generation, and I am outgrowing that generation, I guess is what I'm coming to the conclusion at this point.
I mean, I think when I play Silent Hill F, right, and I'm sitting there like, who is this for? Because it wasn't for me. So I think I'm also having that. Even Silent Hill 2 Remake, it was like, oh, geez, this is truly the AAA experience, hey? Like, this is what every game has now come to with tropes, gameplay design, and, like, adding to where man, I can just kind of get more fun for me going back to PS2, PS3 and playing a more, I don't know, tailored experience than what we're getting now.
Well, I did play Silent Hill 2 last year. I played it for about
10 the hours. Remake?
Yeah, I played it for about 10 hours straight, and it did not land well with me. Something was off. And I know that game got reviewed really well, and I've seen it on a bunch of horror lists.
9s and 10s across the board, man.
And on the horror list, I saw one the other day, and they actually ranked it higher than the original, which is an abomination because Silent Hill 2 probably is the scariest game that I've ever played, period. Like, when he sticks his hand
I'm going to play it. Once we finish Galaxy, that's the next game we have lined up, the original Silent Hill 2. Like, for myself, I game with... See, I don't stream my gameplay because, like, I still do the intimate experience with, like, people. Like, you know what I mean? IRL. I need to start streaming. Sorry?
You touch grass.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm seeing people and I'm playing IRL. I need to start streaming online too, but like Silent Hill 2, the original, will be the next game. I've never played it.
It's a masterpiece, and I have played it. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years, but it still holds up extremely well for being a 2001, I believe, game. I think it came out in February of 2001. Might have been 2002, but it was like, it's back then. It's like, 20-some years old, and it still holds up really well. With the remake, I don't know exactly what. When I was playing it, I was playing with one of my friends that I played the original with, and he's like, it's like greatest. And I am hard to please. I know that. That's something about me that I've learned over the years. There are people that just enjoy what they enjoy, and that's great. But for me, I'm constantly like scrutinizing. I guess maybe that's why I like graded games, because I'm constantly,
I know, right? And when I say like, oh, Silent Hill F wasn't for me, I don't want to say like I'm never going to be like, oh, you can't enjoy it. How'd you like that game? Well, you bought the new Mario Galaxy thing. That's like, I don't care. Enjoy what you enjoy type thing. It's just like, I know that I'm a hard critic on a lot of things. I agree with that fully. I like what I like, and I'm not afraid to like go against the opinion when, and for everyone, like Silent Hill 2, obviously, like you said, it's a masterpiece. And I finished Silent Hill 2R and I was like, there's no way that this is what the original was like, because this game wouldn't be heralded like it is if this is what everyone played.
And the same thing happened with me with Resident Evil 4 Remake. I actually loved Resident Evil 2 Remake. I actually probably would put Resident Evil 2 Remake above Resident Evil 2. But when I played Resident Evil 4, the atmosphere was missing. Like, it was so cold. Like, Resident Evil 4, I remember playing that game. It was like in January on the GameCube, and I remember being scared of like the chainsaw guy. I remember being scared of XYZ, and you hear people coming and doors creaking and stuff. And then the remake comes out and it's cold. It's like, okay, here's a team that plugged in a bunch of things, and this is what it's supposed to be. And everybody's eating it up like it's the greatest game. And I just feel like I'm more realistic about what I'm looking for. But I am finding a lot of pleasure in odd games. Like last year, my game of the year was Balatro, which I'm not sure if you've ever played Balatro or not. That game...
Never played it, but I've had many people recommend it to me.
It is insane how good that game is. It is... You play your first hand and you're like, what is everybody talking about? And then you don't catch yourself 5 hours later. You're like, why am I still playing this? And then you're like, wait a minute, I can do this better. And it starts like mathing in your head. You're just like, okay. And that game, I played it, I think like November of last year, December of last year or something. And that quickly became the game that I chose as my game of the year, even though a Zelda game came out and I didn't pick that one because I didn't really care for it. But Balatro, that's what I'm looking for every year.
Which Zelda game, sorry?
Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, okay.
So I
played like 10 hours. It was fine.
I think they could have done her better. I think they could have done Zelda a little bit better. Give her a sword and a shield, damn it. Don't make her go out there with a freaking cane and copy her environment. I beat the game with the bed. So, like...
You did beat it? You did beat the game?
Yeah, we beat that one on stream, and there was quite a few people who were like, is that it? Is that the game? I'm like, yeah, we beat the boss. That's it. We're going to turn it in, Definitely. I'm actually kind of shocked.
Yeah, my issue was, like I said, I played maybe 5 to 10 hours, and I already felt like I had done everything. Like I had the echoes that already basically broke the game. It was like Red Bug or something where it's like, oh, now I can climb anything I want. I have the floor tile. I can go everywhere I want.
You just basically described the whole issue with the game in a nutshell. That's But
the puzzle aspect was gone immediately.
Correct.
Because they give you these echoes that just
break the
solve
game.
everything.
Right. Well, that's the same.
Yeah, literally break the game.
Tears of Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. The first 50 hours of those games, both of them, both have the same issue. The first 50 hours when you have nothing and you're clawing your way up there to get something, that game it's firing on all cylinders. But then once you start building your inventory and you become super powerful, those games no longer function as Zelda games anymore, because Zelda games, it's all about collecting the items, going to this dungeon, like the original Zelda or Link to the Past even. And when you start getting into territory, I actually did watch a developer interview of Echoes of Wisdom, and one of the people in the roundtable actually suggested giving her a sword and shield. And there was somebody that had spoke up, and they're like, well, that's not going to work, because then now at this point, the whole system of the cane duplicating items makes no sense. So then they made that behind a meter, but they ran out of ideas to progress. And, I guess with Final Fantasy and like Zelda, like, I feel like sometimes they're too busy trying to reinvent the wheel with some of these games. And that's where I was talking about Dragon Quest, where like I think they're nailing that series because they keep sticking with what works and it's pleasing the fans. Whereas with like Final Fantasy and Zelda, and I'll say they've done a really good job with Mario. I will agree with Mario. I think Mario, they've kind of stuck to what works. I really thoroughly enjoyed Sunshine, Galaxy 2. I mean, they're really, I don't have any complaints for any of those games. It's just all micro details that you can nitpick.
Wonder and Odyssey, fantastic.
Yeah. Mario 64 at the end of the day is always going to be my favorite Mario game, period. And I think it's just because that music, again, just hits. Dire Dire Docks, anytime I hear that, I
assume you grew up with it, eh? Like you played it back when it was brand new?
It was the first system I ever bought with my own money, which is probably why I own the whole collection at this point.
I often wonder, because like I didn't grow up with Mario 64, and I do wonder what the opinion, or I almost feel like the internet opinion on Mario 64, this might just be a hot take here, but like the internet opinion of Mario 64 is so freaking beloved at this point, through speedrunning, through culture, through whatever it is, where it is almost sacrilegious to even suggest that Mario 64 isn't as good as everyone says it is. Where I'm someone who didn't play it growing up. I played Mario 64 when I was probably, 20, 21. That was like my first experience with it, right? So I had already played Sunshine. I had already played a little bit of Galaxy, right? Like my younger brothers that grew up with it. And then I go back to Mario 64 and I'm like, man, the movement's pretty jank. The levels are pretty jank. We're just floating platforms. Like you know what I mean? 100%. Like Sunshine is a better game in every single way, in my opinion. Just based on actual like gameplay, level design, all these things. But I know that is not the, I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish maybe I just feel left out because I don't have that thought of Mario 64 being like, oh, that is the pinnacle. I didn't do it at the time.
The reason why for me, I followed Nintendo 64 through magazines. I've still got like, I can't get to it right now, but I've got my whole magazine collection. So it was like every week or every 3 weeks when the new magazines, where's the 64 stuff? Where's the 64 stuff? The first time I ever walked into Best Buy and they had, I think it was like 9 CRTs dangling from the ceiling, and they had this surround sound where the whole store, and I remember Dire Dire Docks was playing, and they had the system down there, and this person's playing it on these 9 big ass TVs. And I remember the bass and like everything, because that's peak Best Buy right there. Back in the day when you could walk in and they actually cared about electronics. Now it's just dull like Walmart. But
we don't have one. I don't think we have Best Buy anymore here.
Oh, they just left. They packed up. They said, we're done. We're leaving.
Hey, I think they just closed down. So that was
my first experience of Mario 64 in person was that setup. 9 TVs dangling. Like it literally was like a big TV dangling with the surround sound. So what's interesting to me, so Sunshine, right? That is a fantastic game. It is definitely, out of all of the Mario games, is probably, I would consider it to be the more broken of them, and only because it was completely rushed out the door. I don't even know, that game needs just a hair bit more polish, but it gets away with murder because the theme is tropical. It's different. The levels are all connected, which is something that's huge with me. I love the fact that you can be like in Pina Park or whatever, and you can see Bianca, whatever the levels, you can see them all connected together. That was huge for me as a kid. Like seeing that blew my mind. Like no other games were doing that back in the day. But I just feel like if they were to ever finish the game, because obviously the blue coins but that was all unfinished stuff they didn't get to do, so they threw a bunch of blue coins in. I love that game. It's such an anomaly to me how much I can love Sunshine, but at the end of the day, I'm like, there's so much wrong with it. Like the blue coins and sometimes the camera gets locked into like a wall. But from your perspective, that was your Mario 64. So when you try to go back and play Mario 64, that locked in camera doesn't work right, and his movement, he slides off he'll be walking on the.
Yeah, he's just a bit like again, the Sunshine's movement is like the crispest Mario has ever been. Like I was playing Galaxy and I'm like, why can't I side hop? Why can't I spin hop? Like why don't I have these movement options? I genuinely feel restricted playing Galaxy because I've lost the fluidity, not the flood. I've just lost like movement options that Sunshine had. It was the first thing I noticed about Galaxy. Like side hopping is impossible. Why can't I side hop on a dime?
But let's not forget how atrociously hard when they take flood away from you in Sunshine. And they put you in those levels where it's like, dude, I have nightmares of them go do 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 do. I'm like, and then
so you got those movement options though. You can do that like freaking crazy spin jump where you just flutter down, then start wall hopping, and
but then you have to let pianas throw you, and then they don't throw you the right angle.
That's jank.
Yeah,
that's jank. That's jank. That's like that is. Sunshine has a lot of really bad ideas. Let's not talk about those.
It has a lot of good. There was a lot there. It's just that and Wind Waker were just a product of rush development because the GameCube just wasn't doing the numbers that they wanted, so they had to basically move on to the next thing, it's just weird.
Yeah, I wish I had that framing of Mario 64 of the greatest thing to ever exist, because it truly is impossible to like. I can't even lie to myself, right, and just be like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Like it's good, it's fine.
Well, I mean. Okay, but on the same token, like the original Zelda, right? There's people probably 4 or 5 years older than me. That's their favorite game, the original Zelda. It doesn't get any better than the original Zelda.
I know.
I played the original Zelda when I was 3, and I have memories, but it's Link to the Past is the one for me. Like that is, for whatever reason, I feel like that is the perfect one. So when you're trying to explain that, it's just different, different levels. I feel like, the same token, when you're trying to swing your sword like this in the original Zelda and all he does is poke forward, I can't get used to that. It's too hard to get used to that. I can appreciate it, but it's not the best. But I could probably talk forever about that.
Yeah, I think LTTP is just objectively the better game. Not even a hot take,
Well, I know that I've kept you over the time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up if you're good.
Yeah. I didn't want to, I wanted to make sure you got through everything you wanted to get through. So, like,
I did.
By all means.
I feel good. I'm very excited. Again, we've got a lot of people in here now. I do want to take the time to thank you. And
Hi, chat. Hi, everybody.
A couple things that I want to just give you a shout out for, and I want to thank you for, is I appreciate you do something that I'm not sure if you're aware that you do it, and I appreciate it. You make everybody feel like they have your undivided attention. I know there's been plenty of times, you literally, the only time that you haven't gotten back to me quickly was like last week. That was the only time ever, and you like even explained, you were like, look, I have all this stuff going on. But
oh yeah, it was Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah. It was Thanksgiving weekend, and I missed you for like 3 days, I think. Yeah.
And I'm very appreciative for you, and I hope that your journey continues the way that you keep, and I hope everything. And I hope that at some point there's anything you ever need as far as what I can offer you, I would be glad to ever help you any way I can. But I'm very appreciative for you taking the time out of your night, and you have no idea, like, you are a genuine inspiration to me, and you are without a doubt my favorite creator. And thank you for taking an hour and a half or 2 hours actually out of your day to come in and spend talking about video games. And I hope to have you on again, and we can do it again sometime.
Of course, I would love to. I would come back in a heartbeat. If you ever need an impromptu guest on the MAX2DCAST, like, just let me know, dude. Absolutely. I appreciate the kind words. Truly. This was awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll catch you later.
Bye, guys.